My name is Jocelyn. I am a poet. I love nature. The lorikeets are so beautiful. I've been in a period of cocooning and I finally feel ready to try a little bit of exposure therapy in terms of being seen and allowing myself to be seen, and I don't know what better way to do that than to do this. Really throwing myself in the deep end, but that's okay. Where I'm coming from and my intention is that I've overcome a lot in my life, but I've still maintained my sensitivity, my empathy, my compassion. I'm a highly sensitive person and I really love that about myself. I'm proud of that. And as I was going through everything that I've been through, I always kind of knew that I was going through it because I was going to share my story and it would help people. That was the way that I made meaning, that helped me transmute all that pain and all that trauma, was by saying, I'm going through this so I can empathize. I'm going through this so that I can be the example that you can survive. In fact, actually, you can thrive. So I don't know, I haven't created like a brand strategy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a girl sitting in front of her camera in the bush with all the beautiful birds. You can hear them. But maybe my tagline, it's just come out naturally, maybe it should be reminding you that you can survive. Not only that, but you can thrive. I'm sure I can condense that and make that more punchy, but you're here in my becoming. Congratulations. So I could talk a lot about what I've been through and my story, and that definitely is something that I want to do eventually. I want to record a video about my story and what I've overcome in my life and how I've overcome it. I think that would be extremely beneficial, and I feel like it will find the people it's meant to find. But I don't think that's the first video I make. Can you hear that? Oh, hi! It's a lorikeet right above me. Oh my gosh, I have to show you. I hope you can see it. I hope you can see it. It's gonna end up pooing on me. I will be blessed. This was the thing, I didn't want to move the tripod because it was so precarious to set up in the first place. Is that where it was? Give me a minute. I'm just gonna, it's fine. I am wearing sunscreen and the sun is right on me, as you can probably tell, so apologies for the glare. Hi. I'm very distracted by the birds. But as I always say, like, if we're not being distracted by nature, what's the point? What's the point? Let's just listen. The currawong that sent me over the edge. I choose to believe that the infinite, mystical, magical, marvelous universe is benevolent, and I just love that we took a moment to listen, and the birds, like, there were ravens, there were currawongs, there were lorikeets, there were birds I couldn't even see, but I saw those birds. I feel like they just want to be part of it. As they should be. I think I was just saying that I haven't come into this like with a defined like brand or brand strategy or even like a desired outcome. I'm just being obedient to the fact that I feel called to do this, and I have felt called to do this for so long, and I have also used this as the light at the end of the tunnel for me, that I was one day going to create something of this. Not, you know, of the trauma in the sense of perpetuating it, but the exact opposite. And that's why, like, you know, in terms of sharing my story, I'm happy to share it, but I don't want to be touching on it all the time, because that is my past and it is not my present and it's not my current reality. And for that I am so grateful. And I guess that's the whole point, right? It does get better. It gets so much better. So one day you're sitting on a rock in the bush and all the birds come and you cry because that just fills you with so much joy, like happy tears, you know? Yes, okay, well, I'm here in the bush and I brought all my journals. And I want to read one that actually, this is my most recent. I said all my journals, lol. All my journals, like we would have a library behind me. This journal I started in like the 20th of February was when I started, and I finished it on the 21st of April. It's one of the like longest time periods a journal has gone for me, just because there's so many pages. By the way, shout out to Kelly who bought me this journal. You're a sweetheart. This journal is my praise journal. It didn't start off that way, but that's what it's become. And I feel like, you know what? I feel called to read that one. So there was something I read the other day and I was like, that's not just for me. Yes, the praise is so important, but I feel like, especially if you've been through trauma, I feel like it might help you, or it might validate and affirm and encourage you. So where was it? Okay, well, let's read this one. This isn't the one I was thinking of, but I think it's still valuable. Finding time for rest in amongst it all. Actually, I think it's I don't know, but it's finding time for rest amongst it all. The ultimate act of resistance is self-love. Rest is radical and foundational, and you think it doesn't work because you're doing it all wrong with all your self-imposed conditions. No, you rest because you deserve it and you don't need to earn it. You can choose to be your own master. You are not a slave. So don't act like one and rest. Do it like you would for your inner child, your little sister, your best friend. And that's actually, I got distracted. I remember now what I wanted to read, but maybe this is great, like foundational context. I had real problems with rest. I had real problems with productivity guilt. I have spent a lot of my life feeling like a servant. I unfortunately do have a chronic illness, and I, especially studying psychology, know that those two things are correlated. So rest is not only necessary because I'm a human being, a living thing that needs rest. Everything in nature has seasons and periods of rest. So I am entitled to it because I exist and I live. But also, on top of that, I need more rest than the average person, and it's kind of like I've done a trade-off sometimes. That's how it feels. Like I worked so hard in the first few decades of my life and I hit a wall, and unfortunately, you know, I do believe like sometimes our limitations are beliefs, but then I also believe that like that can sometimes feel very victim blaming if you have a chronic illness, and of course you're not trying to be unwell. Who wants to be unwell? Story time for another day, but it's definitely something that choosing rest is not just radical in a capitalistic patriarchal society, especially as a woman, but it's radical when you feel like you're taking more rest than most people, and so then therefore, you know, you might face criticism, or you might even have that internal criticism that's like internalized from a critic in your life. So yes, interesting that I read that, because what I actually did intend to read was this is my current journal, so I, you know, have many blank pages to go. But the first poem I wrote in here was about the fact that I have been going through a season in my life which I call cocooning. I have an idea, and I've had an idea for a long time, to write a poetry book that is around this theme of metamorphosis, and maybe I shouldn't be sharing that, but oh well. Even if someone else does that, I'm sure it's probably already been done, but it won't be mine. It won't be the version that I'm conceptualizing and creating, because I haven't taken that idea from anyone else. It feels like it's come from within. If you would be interested in this poetry book, I feel like maybe we can start something like a pre-order. This poem kind of fits perfectly into that theme of metamorphosis, and it relates directly to what I was just talking about rest. And I think it's pronounced for Pharate, and it's the phase in metamorphosis for a butterfly where it's still in the chrysalis and it's fully formed. Like the butterfly's wings are fully formed. It could emerge from the cocoon and fly, technically, but it waits. And that's where I was at when I started this journal. I felt like I was ready, but I just needed to like center myself, gather myself, and you know, that was only a week ago. And I don't necessarily think I'm going to post this straight away, but who knows. So the poem is called Pharate. I think I actually should check how it's pronounced. I just looked it up. Like, it came, again, something that came to me as an idea. I'm someone who like often doesn't write the title until after I've written the poem, and after I'd written it, I was like, I wonder what that phase is right before the butterfly emerges, and I googled it. So it's not something that was in my vocabulary, hence I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, let's read it, shall we? Pharate. Hidden in the dark of the chrysalis is precisely where you need to be. Do you think the butterfly worries about the state of the forest, rushing the process of growing its wings? Of course not. It knows it is exactly where it's meant to be, taking the time to retreat, to deconstruct how to be, so it can become the beautiful pollinator the ecosystem needs. Why should your process of becoming be any different? Why should you rush and feel guilty for not being ready? You may feel lost and invisible, but this time of transformation is sacred. You are not doing nothing, even if the world cannot see. You are choosing courage to sit with, feel, and transmute through all the pain and negative energy. You cannot rush the process, and only you can break free. But when you do re-emerge, the world will watch in reverence as you spread your bright, beautiful wings. And it really does encapsulate this feeling that I've had that I'm not doing enough to contribute to the world. Like, I feel like we're going through like a collective awakening, and like, yes, like the best. I love that we're realizing that we are all oppressed in a system of colonial patriarchy, late stage capitalism. Like, I am so glad that people are not only recognizing that, but they're naming it, defining it. You know, there is power in being able to identify something. I 100% believe that about everything, and it's exciting. It's exciting knowing that people are consciously waking up. And so it's hard too, because like, and I'm sure like this is true for many people, especially like my neurospicy friends, like neurodivergent friends. It's like you've seen this the whole time, and it's just taken a while for other people to recognize it as well. And then that can feel sometimes, it's hard. It's like you're so burnt out because you were, when you spoke out and when you recognized things and when you wanted things to change earlier, everyone was like, well, you're weird, that's an overreaction, you're sensationalizing, you're this, you're that, right? And then nothing changed, and now everyone's waking up and you're like, I'm so burnt out. So it kind of encapsulates that feeling as well, because, you know, that idea of, do you think the butterfly worries about the state of the forest, rushing the process of growing its wings? It's like, you know, if you are in this season like I was, where you just are not ready to be seen and you're still trying to find your purpose, you know you're being called to something greater, but you're not quite sure and you haven't defined it yet, I understand, I see you, because same, and I am still in the process of becoming. Like, it is not clear to me 100% where I'm going, but I'm trying to answer the call that has been on my heart, but also like that I wasn't ready to answer until now. And so that poem kind of encapsulates that feeling of, it's okay if you are still in your chrysalis or your cocoon. Like, embrace this season, because when you do emerge, we're all going to be watching in reverence, in wonder, just like I'm watching these birds and looking at how magnificent they are. You know, it's just so special. So I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I really enjoyed doing this, and I have felt so aligned with myself, my most authentic self, my highest self, like the most aligned. I've been feeling more and more aligned in general lately for a lot of reasons, but like, I just know, like, this is it. This is like, it was coming to me in my mind's eye, like, again, just like these poems where it's like, it's not me being like, how should I do this? It's just me seeing myself doing it and being like, oh yeah, that does feel right. Go to the bush, read my poetry. If that's not Joss, I don't know what is. So yeah, I just feel like, sorry I got emotional. No, I'm not sorry. I got emotional before because I just feel like the birds were just affirming that I was like in this season of play and joy and feeling in alignment with my purpose. So I guess to wrap up, I want to be an example that you can not just survive, but you can thrive. I truly believe that I went through what I went through because it gives me a depth of understanding. It's a sun shower. Oh, and another sparrow. Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hello. Oh my god, a raven. Hi. I should put my books away in case it does like fully start bucketing down. They're precious. I just want to wrap this up and just say, like, yeah, not only do I want to be that example of the fact that you can thrive and you can find joy, but you can also find happiness. Like, it gets better, it really does get better. But I also feel like my poetry is my purpose. I do it every day. Like, I write poetry, well, not every single day, but like 99% of the time. And, you know, that has been a way for me to process and make meaning as well. So I would love for that to also be a part of this. Hello, what are you? Are you a spider? No. I thought it might have been like a spider on a web. Anyway, yes, I think I'm going to do a pre-order. Maybe even like a little newsletter, and I can like share like a couple of my poems that I've written that week, and you can pre-order that book if that sounds like something you would like to read. If what I've just read resonated for you, it's going to be that energy. I hope that my heart and soul and my intention are coming through in this video, and that it reaches. I'm trusting that the universe will just take care of it reaching who it's meant to reach. Like, that's not my job. Obviously good marketing is invaluable, but I'm playing to my strengths, and I am the artiste and I am time poor in many ways. Bear with me. I will get better at this, I think, as time goes on, because honestly this has just felt so good. But maybe this will be great as well. Like, maybe you don't resonate with anything that I've said in my journey, but you just want to watch someone just like fail their way through it. Like, failure is just first attempt in learning, right? Like, I'm just, you know, oh, sorry, the rain is so beautiful. I'm just embracing the imperfection and the beautiful journey of becoming. You know, I've always kind of put everything off, like once I'm the butterfly, like once I've gone through the full transformation, then I'll be worthy, then I'll be able to be seen and share, and you know, I'm never gonna be fully finished. It's kind of a never-ending cycle. It's an infinite loop. Like, once you grow and evolve out of something, I do think that you end up learning and growing and evolving out of something else. You know, it just kind of continues on and on, but in a beautiful way, and you know, not in a way that's like an actual circle. Speaking of, this is my Sorry, it was such a weird position to get into. It's a broken circle, which is the first tattoo I got because I was so passionate about breaking cycles, and it kind of has guided everything that I do, but then at the same time I was still caught in my perpetual cycle. So yes, I feel like now I have actually broken free of that, and it's time now, even though I know that I'm just going to continue to grow and perfection's a myth. So what am I waiting for? You know, there's someone who needs to say this, someone who's like, oh, okay. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm just loving this sun shower right now. I don't know if you can even see it. It's so beautiful, honestly. Okay, like I really should go. I know it's a matter of safety, but I just need to soak this in. So yes, thank you for being here. If anything that I said resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know a little bit about you and about your story. I would love to get to know and foster a beautiful community, especially if you have CPTSD. Oh my god, there's a rainbow because of the sun shower. It's so gorgeous. Thank you for being here with me, and if you engage with this video, thank you so much for helping me overcome my fear of being seen, and I hope that this journey, we can go on it together and I can be that light, because that's what I needed to. So like I said, if you would be interested in pre-ordering, like let me know and I'll see what I can do about setting that all up. I can't believe that even came out. Like that was not like a plan. I was not planning to go there, but I just trust that that's part of it, right? Like when you're in alignment, things just flow, it just comes out. So I've got a lot of editing to do. Oh, I'm developing a new skill set, so come along for the ride. Hello, quick little edit from me just to say that if you're interested in Metamorphosis or any of my poetry books, you can subscribe to my Substack called Lioness Letters. The link is in the description. Subscribing is free and I'll be able to let you know when pre-orders for the book become available. If you choose and have the means to be a paid subscriber, you'll get exclusive sneak peeks into the book and updates on the book. And if you have the means to be a founding member, your name will be included in the acknowledgements of the publication. Obviously no pressure, but I would really appreciate any support that you can give. And yeah, if you're interested in pre-ordering these books, I highly recommend you subscribe to Lioness Letters for updates. At the moment, I am working on the Phoenix first, so Metamorphosis will come later after I finish the Phoenix. The Phoenix is a project that's really close to my heart. It explores my lived experience surviving decades of domestic violence, escaping domestic violence, and healing from it as well. So that's the project that I'm really focusing on at the moment, and my first Lioness letter is live and explores a little bit of my lived experience with DV, so check it out. Like I said, the link's in the description, and I really appreciate any and all of your support. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.